Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one's going to be dedicated to learning what Sohcahtoa is. I know it seems like gibberish at first, but it's actually pretty easy. Right, so let's get started. So Sohcahtoa is another component of learning what right angles are, right? So Sohcahtoa helps you find out what the sine of an angle is, the cosine of an angle, or the tangent of an angle when you know the lengths of a triangle. Alright? So what you want to do when you're doing Sohcahtoa, usually it's going to be like on the SAT or ACT, it will usually be in the format of a question saying, oh, what is the sine of x? What is the sine of the cosine of x or the tangent of x? And usually they'll give you that angle. So like in this case, x equals 60, something like that, and it's like the sine of 60, and you have to use this pattern to find it out. All right, so let's get started with it. So the first thing that I want to show you is how we break down Sohcahtoa. All right, so first you're going to take SO, and SO stands for sine opposite hypotenuse, and in this case that means sine equals the opposite value on the triangle over the hypotenuse. And in case you're a little bit confused by that, let's go over here to this triangle, and let's say this is our angle. So in this case, it's going to be x, and actually, it's going to be very easy. Let's just do a 3. And 5. So I just made a equal 3, b equal 4, and c equal 5, just to show you with real values what this would look like. All right, so let's say the question is asking, what is the sine of x? All right, so you go over here, the sine of x, and you find your angle, first of all. All right, so you have the x angle right here. And what this is saying is the sine is equal to the opposite length of the triangle. So what you want to do first is find the length of the triangle that is opposite to the angle that you're focusing on. All right, so in this case, the length of the triangle that's opposite to angle x is 4. All right, so we're going to go over here, and it's just 4, and then it's that opposite, which is 4, and then you're going to do it with the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse in this case is the longest side of the triangle, and it'll always be this really slanted one. And that's the longest side of the triangle in this case. And in this example, it's going to be 5. So you would just do 4 over 5 is the sine of angle x, right? So then let's move on to cosine. So this cosine is the second part of Sohcahtoa, and it's the ca. So first you're going to do c, and then this stands for adjacent and hypotenuse. All right? So first you have cosine, and then we're going to break it down just like we did with sine. So cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. In case you don't know what adjacent means, it's like next to. So in this case, we're going to find the length of the triangle that is next to that angle that we're really focusing on. In this case, it's angle x, right? So it's that adjacent length of the triangle over the hypotenuse of the triangle. So we've already found the hypotenuse, right? We all already agreed that the hypotenuse is 5 because it's the longest length of the triangle, right? So all we have to do now is find the adjacent. And in this case, remember what I said the adjacent was? It's the one that's next to the angle that you're focusing on. And in this case, that would be this length of the triangle because it is right next to that angle that you're focusing on, and it's actually touching it. So that's how you find the adjacent. And if you're still struggling with that, you can always use the process of elimination. You know it's not going to be the hypotenuse, and you already know that this side is the opposite. The one that is across from that angle is the opposite. So you can just mark those out, and you know that the last one standing is the adjacent one. All right, so in this case, cosine, since you're doing the adjacent over hypotenuse, the adjacent side equals 3 in this case. So let's write 3 down here. And that's over the hypotenuse that we already found, which is 5. All right, so Now we know the cosine of x is 3 over 5. And let's focus on our last one right now. So our last one is going to be toa, which is tangent. So this t is tangent, and then it's going to be opposite over adjacent. Alright, so it's tangent equals opposite over adjacent. And we've already gone over kind of how you find these. So let's take a quick look at it. The opposite side length according to the angle. So the length of the triangle that's opposite to the angle, in this case, is 4. This. Alright. And the adjacent side is that 3 because it's next to it, shows a line with that. Alright. And you just get your tangent x equals 4 over 3 opposite directions. And a quick rundown or a quick recap of what we did in this video. So this video is dedicated to learning Sohcahtoa. We learned the 3 parts of it, so, ka, and toa, and they stand for sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. And this is used for most questions when it's trying to find out what the value of cosine x, sine x, or tangent x is. If they give you a triangle as an example, just like I situated here for you. Alright, and if you have any more questions about Sohcahtoa or right triangles, let me know, and I hope you learned something from this video.